healthy life.
Volatility from extreme weather, from heat to hurricanes, putting the squeeze on orange juice drinkers as orange growers experiencing harsh harvests.
In Florida, an invasive pest is also to blame, ravaging orange groves in the Sunshine State for nearly 20 years. That pest now spreading in Brazil, the world's largest exporter of orange juice. Brazil also suffering from flooding and drought, now facing what's likely to be its worst harvest in 3 decades. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
A manhunt in New York City for a man who police say sexually assaulted a 13-year-old girl in a city park.
It happened in the middle of the day. Police say 2 13-year-olds, a boy and a girl, were in Queens Casino Park when a man pulled a knife, forced them into a wooded area, tied them together, and sexually assaulted the girl. Now police say it's an all-hands-on effort to catch the suspect. NYPD Chief of Patrol John Schell.
Whatever we need to do to take this animal off the streets.
Police offering a $10,000 reward for information that leads to an arrest. Dave Packer, ABC News, New York.
The man's described as Hispanic, in his 20s, with curly hair, red sneakers, carrying a green backpack. The U.S. cricket team made history again by reaching the second round in its T20 World Cup debut. Team USA's match against Ireland rained out in Florida today. Team USA faces South Africa in Super 8 round on Wednesday. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic.
Must be a tech thing.
But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
News Talk 610 AM and 102.1 FM. KBNU.
I'm Bill Walter with this KBNU News Update. A construction crew discovered skeletal remains on Wednesday that have some wondering if they might be those of an old Cache Valley outlaw. The bones were unearthed on the corner of 1000 North, 1200 East near the Logan Cemetery. Logan City Police Lieutenant Brett Randall said the workers were ripping up the sidewalk, digging a trench just outside the cemetery when they discovered the bones. The crew immediately called police, who cordoned off the area and notified forensic anthropologists with the Utah State Medical Examiner's Office. Randall said it is not uncommon for bones to be actually unearthed, especially considering the number of pioneers and Native Americans who lived here centuries ago. What might be unique, though, is if the remains are those of Charles Augustus Benson, an alleged murderer who was supposedly placed in an unmarked grave after being lynched by an angry mob over 150 years ago. Seth Sparks was sexton of the Logan Cemetery for nearly 40 years before retiring in 2011. While overseeing the grounds, he met several people who believed Benson was buried in the same spot where crews unearthed the remains.
The theory was that he was buried on the east side of the cemetery, which was sagebrush at that time, and they wouldn't let him be buried in the cemetery, so they said he was buried up there in the sagebrush up on the east side of what they owned as the cemetery properties that hadn't been developed.
Benson was known to be rough and rowdy with a quick temper. On February 14th, 1873, he got into an argument with some of his drinking buddies, shooting and killing David W. Crockett, son of then-Sheriff Alvin Crockett. 3 days later, law enforcement tracked Benson to a barn he was hiding in. He gave up and was taken to jail in the basement of the Cache County Courthouse. But some community members were still angry, and a mob formed and stormed the courthouse, dragging him out into the cold. They threw a rope over the courthouse sign and hanged him in the middle of the morning on February 18th, 1873. On a happier note, the 40th annual Summerfest Arts Fair is underway at the Cache County Event Center and Fairgrounds, located at 490 South, 500 West in Logan. Preston religious artist Brent Borup and his wife Jeanette have a booth at Summerfest this year. Borup nowadays only does a few festivals to show and sell his artwork. Providence graphic designer and artist Jason Halliday brought his puzzles and skateboards to a booth. He also has a monster coloring activity for all ages. Thomas Dunford, a bountiful artist, was painting small squares with watercolors and showing his large graphic acrylic paintings for sale. There are over 160 other artists selling jewelry, pottery, and anything else one can imagine at this year's festival. Dang Brothers, with stores in Salt Lake and Ogden, was serving their handcrafted wood fire pizza cooked on the back of a vintage fire truck. They were just one of 31 food trucks at the fairgrounds, and all sorts of musical entertainment as well at Summerfest going till 10 o'clock tonight, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Saturday. KVNU weather is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. Keep your car running smooth and looking good. Get the Napa Gold Filter and 5 quarts of premium full synthetic oil for $35. Also, Scott's Blue Shop Towels, $3.19 a roll at your locally owned Preston to Providence Napa Auto Parts stores. You can always get more news at CashValleyDaily.com.
Updates every 30 minutes and breaking news as it happens. News Talk KVNU, your #1 radio station for news and talk.
Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent with Alpine Home Medical. This is a story that came to us from a real customer, and I wanted to share it with you.
I purchased a breast pump through Alpine using my insurance. The ladies at the store were incredibly helpful with showing me my options, discussing my insurance coverage, and getting everything squared away. They were incredibly kind, too. I would definitely recommend Alpine to everyone.
We love hearing about your experiences. Visit us online at alpinehomemedical.com.
Wonder is timeless. Discovery is everlasting. And exploration is never-ending. At Loveland Living Planet Aquarium, we cherish the unforgettable memories you've shared with us for the past 25 years. Thank you for being a part of our story. Visit livingplanetaquarium.org to embark on a new adventure and continue our journey together.
Hey guys, this is Tyson Savage with Truck Ranch in Logan. With interest rates coming down, now is the best time to purchase your next truck. We offer on-site financing to make the buying process quick and easy. If you are a business owner that relies on a fleet of trucks to make you money, come see our great selection of hard-working trucks to help you succeed. We also offer on-site commercial financing to suit the needs of your business. We take trade-ins and always guarantee at Truck Ranch you will find better service, better prices, better trucks. In South Logan next to Walmart, or visit us online at truckranch.com.
Are you in need of excellent surgical care? Budge Clinic General Surgery offers the future of surgery with state-of-the-art robotic-assisted procedures. From cancer treatments to surgical needs, they've got you covered. Call Budge Clinic General Surgery today, 435-716-1950, to schedule a consultation and experience the best possible outcome. Trust Doctors Anderson, Marshall, McKenna, and Peterson, the experts at Budge Clinic General Surgery, helping people live the healthiest lives possible.
Leaky pipes, water heater not working, maybe even suspect mold growing in your home. Hey, Gary Sullivan here from At Home with Gary Sullivan. I can help you with your home improvement projects each weekend right here. We'll take your calls about your home issues and give you solutions. We'll tell you how to fix it, what to use, and where to get it. We also have expert guests that can help you with those home projects. Hope you can join us this weekend right here on At Home with Gary Sullivan.
Saturday nights at 7 on News Talk KVNU, 102 FM and 610 AM.
Okay, let's clear it all out. It's demo day!
What's happening? Who are you people? Wait, you can't move! Hey, what are you doing? All right, she's all set. Set with what? Orange? Who made the console orange?
Do I look orange?
I didn't touch it.
Orange is not my color.
Not me.
Hello? Ah! Oh my gosh, I'm anxiety.
That is a little bit from the Inside Out 2 trailer, opening in theaters today here in Cache Valley, the latest Disney Pixar installment. I didn't see the first one.
If that doesn't smoke it at the box office, we are broken.
Yeah.
It is the best Pixar movie I have seen in a long time.
Is it really?
They knocked it out of the park.
I didn't intend to not see The first one. It was just timing and some other
First
stuff.
one
I never
make you sad.
I never got to see it, and then I heard that. I heard that it was a little bit of a downer, and
Bing bong.
I wasn't in the mood for that.
Sorry, not Trump's Bing bong. I know if I say that. If I just randomly say Bing bong.
What is the Bing bong thing from that movie?
It's this little.
Because I know that joke or that reference.
It's a little purple elephant that's like
okay, yeah,
and it's just sad. Bing bong goes bye-bye.
Yeah, that's the part. I remember hearing that, and I'm like, well, I'm not in the mood for that.
It's like the equivalent of like when E.T. went away, but you knew E.T. was going to live. You know what I love?
Does the sequel have anything like that?
No.
I think people should be warned.
No. I mean, here's what I would say.
I mean, if you're going for Disney Pixar, and Bambi's mom's going to get offed.
The screening I was at, there was quite the spread of age, of children at this Pixar movie.
That's a Pixar thing, right? Like these are. I was thinking about this. I know more adults that never miss a Pixar film than I do adults that make sure their kids don't miss a Pixar film.
There's enough for adults.
That's a Pixar thing, though.
Yeah, but it's not I mean, when I say adults, we're not talking about like adult comedy.
No.
But it's enough winks to the adults of like, hey, we see you.
Yeah. We know you're there with your kids.
Yeah, not like dirty jokes and stuff.
No, but yeah, humor that the kids aren't going to necessarily pick up on.
Yeah, like here's an example. Well, just to let's set the stage for just a second. So, Inside Out followed these emotions: joy, sadness, fear, and anger. And this little girl named Riley.
And which one was Nick Offerman?
I don't think Nick Offerman was in that. I think it's Lewis Black plays anger.
Oh, that's who it is. Yeah, I knew it was a screamy comedian.
Yeah, it was Sam Kinison, back from the dead. I can't believe I said that out loud. I'd like to retract that comment, Your Honor.
No one needed that image on a Friday afternoon. Thank you.
No, but anyway, so this is, I mean, let's see. Inside Out was 2015. I mean, isn't that crazy that was 2015 too? So 9 years ago. So now, flash forward, Riley is now what? She's 13. She's on the cusp of high school. She's leaving middle school.
That surprises me because for some reason I thought this was a just before the pandemic movie, but 2015.
I mean, doesn't everything feel?
Yeah, everything happened.
2015, Jason,
2018
was
19,
a different
that's
time.
When everything happened.
Different time. We were all footloose and fancy free back in 2015.
2020 was when nothing happened.
We were all just, loving life.
I was thinking about this. So the last film I saw in theaters, the gap in my theater going experience, I saw 1917 in theaters in like February 2020 sometime, wasn't that? And then I saw Dune. That's
quite the gap,
and not by choice.
I didn't see Tenet in theaters.
No, I missed. I was I was off on a trip when that was in theaters, and then when I came back, I kind of forgot it existed.
It's too bad we're talking about Inside Out 2 right now, because the perfect segue would have been the last movie I saw was Bad Boys Bad Boys for Life. But we'll come back to that.
That was 3, right? That was number 3.
That was number 3, yeah.
Okay.
But going back to Inside Out 2, so Riley, the main character of this, is, she is on the cusp of teenagehood. This is why parents will love this movie, too, because, little kids like it because they like all the little animated characters and just hitting each other and, I don't know, just being like cartoons.
Yeah.
But they expand on like this world that they created in the first movie. This basically inside of Riley's mind, and so essentially the same characters are there. You've got Joy, which is played by Amy Poehler, or I should say, voiced by Amy Poehler. You've also got Tony Hale, who's back as Fear. You've got Lewis Black as Anger, and then you've got Phyllis Smith, who everybody knows as Phyllis from The Office. Is playing Sadness. And probably, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes into the movie, they're going to this hockey camp, Riley and her friends. They're all really good at hockey. They're, BFFs, all that stuff. And on their way to the hockey camp, she finds out that her friends they're not going to be in the same high school. And that's a sad thing. I mean, I don't know how your middle school career went, but when I was going from elementary school to middle school, my best friend in 5th grade moved to California. And so I kind of went into middle school with zip. I mean, I knew people, but I didn't really like my friends. I didn't have friends. They were gone. They all went away. So that really struck a chord with me. But what's really funny is the morning she wakes up, they see the core emotions, joy, fear, sadness, and anger. See this button blinking on their console, and it says,
I saw that in the trailer.
It says puberty, and they're like, "What?" And then somebody comes over and slaps it, and anyway,
and anxiety appears.
Yeah, and then so then anxiety appears. She's voiced by Maya Hawke, who is the daughter of Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman. That is, if you're a fan of Stranger Things, you'll know who Maya Hawke is. Also, other emotions show up as well, Jason. Envy shows up, voiced by Ayo Edebiri, who's from The Bear. You also get disgust. Embarrassment, who's played by Paul Walker Hauser. Couldn't be a more perfect person. So hilarious. And then you also get, I cannot remember. I thought there was one other. I can't remember the French actress's name, but she shows up as Boredom.
Oh, okay. That's in the trailer too.
Yeah,
just briefly referenced.
Yeah, she's hilarious. And then also June Squibb, everyone's favorite Hollywood grandma, shows up as Nostalgia. It's so funny. She pops her head in the door every once in a while, and she's like, "Oh, that reminds me of the time that me and your father, he used to run around the lawn." Anyway, it was just funny. But anxiety pretty much takes over at this point. And I won't spoil the rest of the plot necessarily. It's all set at this hockey camp, which is really cool. It's this kind of contained universe. And the other emotion, what the kind of the point of the movie, and what was I thought really touching amongst all the humor, is that all these emotions play a role in our lives. When one of them dominates more than others, that's when things become uncomfortable, and things don't go as smooth. And there's a lot of emphasis in the movie of trying to boot these emotions that we don't like just boot them.
Yeah.
Like joy at the beginning of the movie is
which also isn't healthy.
No, it's not. Joy is chucking these little memory balls out into outskirts of Riley's brain of things that they don't want to remember, like the time she tripped at school, or the time she embarrassed herself, stuff like that. But those things make up our our belief system, our core values, and so. It's a really great message that I think is would be universally everyone would agree upon. So again, big cross section of kids were there. The teenagers thought it was hilarious. The parents were laughing because they were like, "I feel you," and the little kids thought it was funny because there was just enough kind of goofiness to keep them. There was a kid actually like 2 rows behind me that was like, "Mom, anxiety is no good." And this kid was like in elementary school. It's so funny. I was literally
That's funny. I like that.
She's like, anxiety needs to go away. I was like, we feel you, kid. We feel you.
It's a good lesson to learn
at
a young age.
I also love how it flashes into the parents' brains. Who the mom's played by Diane Lane and the dad's played by, speaking of Dune, Kyle MacLachlan. And what I love about it is they have their own set of emotions. And I can't remember the one. There was one where she's like, she's gone. The mom goes, in their emotions in her head. Goes, she's gone 3 days, and all she has is it was fine. and then all of a sudden anxiety pops back in the mom's brain. She goes, "Oh, welcome back. It's been a while." And then the dad's brain, he's like the same thing. The guy goes, "Oh, she's been gone 3 days, and all she can say is it was fine." And then they go, "All right, whatever, back to the game." Anyway, it's funny. I highly encourage it. It's definitely worth the full price ticket. Beautiful animation, great voice work.
It looks very cool.
Classic Pixar.
What are they doing differently with the animation? It looks Pixar they always look the same somewhat, but then you can tell
they up their game.
Yeah, they up the game, and something looks really different. I haven't been able to, and I've only seen the trailer for this one, but I something looks very different, and I can't put my finger on what it is.
I wish I could tell you. I wish I knew. I wish I knew enough to really
make your own animated Pixar movie.
But no, it's really, really
very cool,
beautiful. But there's some really
this is
fun,
PG, right?
Yeah, PG. There's some really, 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 really funny stuff in there. There's a whole thing about like there's a vault where like all of her stuff she doesn't want, her secrets are back there, and they're like, what secrets are in there? Her deep dark secret actually lives there, and it looks like a big Sasquatch. It's pretty funny. But one of my I want to remember. I think there's like an old cartoon character that's hiding back there, like almost like kind of like a Dora or like a Blue's Clues kind of thing.
Oh, really?
And they're like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I hide back here because she still watches me, but doesn't want anyone to know." Oh, anyway, that was really funny, and he has this little fanny pack he wears. It's so funny, and he has a voice. Pouchy, that's his name, Pouchy. I was dying. He's like, "Hey, Pouchy." He's like, "Hey, what can I do?" That's how he has a voice like that. It was so funny. And then, and then it was Bluefy. That was the name. I was thinking in my head, what was the name of the little dog and his Bluefy, and his fanny pack, Pouchy. It was great. Honestly, here's another thing I'd say. You know, Pixar's made some good movies over the last few years. I think, some of them where they've been very like streaming, like that's where they've only been. I think it's been harder for them to get traction. People watch them at their leisure. They don't get the. I don't know. It was big crowd. People really enjoyed it. I was not super pumped to see it because, again, I just kept thinking, okay, we're doing the motion stuff again. But I will say without a doubt, knocked it out of the park. I would actually say it's better than the first.
Really?
But that's just me.
All right. Inside Out 2.
Straight up A.
Straight up A from Andy.
A from Andy.
A from Andy. For Inside Out 2, rated PG in theaters here in Logan as of today. And I'm going to have to go see the first one now, it looks like. We'll be back right after this.
At UNI Furniture, they love dads, and they're looking forward to Father's Day. Dads deserve to relax and take it easy once in a while, so take care of Dad with a new recliner or a bed from UNI. Dad would love UNI's copper-infused mattress that allows you to sleep cooler, helps with circulation, and overall more comfortable. Or bring in Dad to pick out a recliner. UNI sells so many recliners because they have more brands and a bigger selection with all kinds of styles and price ranges. UNI's lower overhead means lower prices, and there's always a better buy at UNI Furniture, downtown Logan.
Curious about Bell Sculpt and what sets it apart from other cosmetic treatments? At Bell Medical, we specialize in minimally invasive body sculpting, which means no general anesthesia, so you're awake and comfortable throughout. You can even watch fat being removed. Unlike those who freeze fat cells, we permanently remove them, providing instant results in just one visit. With Bell Sculpt, you're guaranteed 2 to 5 inches of fat loss, all in a safe and effective way.
Schedule your free consultation at our Bountiful Clinic at bellmedical.com. That's BELLE medical.com.
Hey, it's Glenn Beck. Join Lyle Boss on his Safe Money radio show. He talks about how you can get substantial bonuses on your retirement accounts and so much more. You also can call Lyle right now for his new Safe Money Miracle Book and a complimentary appointment for an inflation-proof audit of your current retirement plan. Call Lyle Boss, president of Boss Financial, 855-355-SAFE. That's 855-355-7233.
Join Lyle Boss and Safe Money Radio, Saturdays at 10 a.m. on KVNU.
I saw Wedding Crashers accidentally. I bought a ticket for Grizzly Man and went into the wrong theater. After an hour, I figured I was in the wrong theater, but I kept waiting. That's the thing about bear attacks. They come when you least expect it.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People movie show with Andy Morgan. Inside Out 2 in theaters as of today. Andy's choking to death. Inside Out 2 in theaters as of today, and Andy gives it a straight up A.
Straight up.
PG. And
like a Paula Abdul A. I'm sorry. I went for...
What was that song?
Straight Up. You said straight up. Straight up A. You know what?
Find that song
It's
now.
Friday. I haven't had enough caffeine. So I'm playing a little catch up. We talked about this last week because I made a little trip to Universal Studios, which I also am pretty much sure that when I got splashed by the Jurassic Park ride, pretty sure that made me sick.
Hey, it happens. There is a
is it a documentary called Dino Poo Poo Water?
No, there is a documented case of a person, and by documented, that means they were able to actually test the water and say, yeah, that's where you got that flesh-eating bacteria. I don't know if it was...
Bingo!
I don't know if it was...
Dino DNA!
No, this was It's a Small World at Disneyland.
Ooh.
Someone got...
That was my fault.
It wasn't a flesh-eating bacteria, but it was some nasty fungus you can only get from really old water.
Was that after the naked guy got in?
Water that's been in the sun.
Earlier?
And I forgot that happened. Can you imagine having to chase that person through?
Can you imagine being with your toddlers? And they're like, what's that? And you're like, that's one of the animatronic people from Pirates escaped.
Naked weirdo. But yeah, someone from the water in...
it was my fault.
At Disneyland, they touched the water and then they believe got it in their mouth or their eye or something and got... it was some kind of fungus. I don't remember what it was, but it screwed up their stomach real bad. Anyway, so yeah, don't drink the It's a Small World water.
I'm going to tell you something. This is a terrible confession, but one time we went. It was super hot, and I was sitting in the front of the boat. And it's not the walking so much that really kills you at Disneyland because like when you do the park hopping, the standing, you nailed it.
Standing,
but when we did the park hopping. This also just shows my level of physical fitness because when I went in 2010 and was running marathons, I just went back and was like, well, I'm all right. How's everyone else doing? Flash forward, 13 years later and, no marathons and some extra weight. I was like, oh my gosh, this is this is worse than summiting Everest. But we clocked it. You do about 16 miles a day if you're doing park hopping. And running back and forth. But yeah, the standing is what does it. But anyway, it was super hot, and I was like, I can't do this. So I literally just took off my shoes and socks, and I put one of my feet in the... I thought it was like the lazy Small World River. Everyone's like, you put your feet back in there. I was like, why? It feels good.
That is funny.
No one's here. It's 11 o'clock at night. We are the only boat.
This since we're on this topic and we're doing PSAs on this kind of thing before we get back to the movies after the news, you should also, and there are a couple of restaurants with outdoor rooftop and sidewalk patios that do this, but another good place to pick up a weird waterborne bacteria or fungus, those misters. It was the same article where I was talking about this. It's a Small World water.
Interesting.
But yeah, those misters.
So like the deck of the local burger place here.
They have that. They still do that. I haven't been there for years, but they used to spray mist on you.
Yeah.
Good way, if that gets in your eye, a good way to get
I must have eaten
kind
something
of
wrong.
bacteria that you
Why do I
didn't-
have diarrhea like I've been in the Amazon for a year?
I think that burger made me sick. No, it wasn't the burger.
Can you say diarrhea on the radio?
It was the eye bacteria.
It's medical,
or
right?
The waterborne bacteria that... all right. More of the For the People movie show, and that's it for our PSAs. But yeah, avoid those misters.
The more you know.
The more you know. On the other side, Bad Boys Ride or Die. We missed that last week. It
made a lot of money.
Made a lot of money. And then we can talk about the box office some more because a lot of things are making a lot of money. New Beverly Hills Cop coming to a streaming service near you, too, as well. All that and more after these headlines with KVNU's Bill Walter.
Thank you, Jason. KVNU News brought to you by Mount Logan Laundry. There is a charity bike ride that took place earlier this week in Cache Valley. KVNU Cimarron Neugebauer has the story.
Thank you. I I really appreciate it.
More than 20 cyclists rode into Logan this week as part of a 4,000-mile bike ride to raise money and awareness about poverty housing. The 10-week bicycle ride put on by the Fuller Center for Housing spans across 12 states, beginning in Seattle and ending in Washington, D.C. On Thursday, cyclists took a break from the saddle to volunteer their time fixing up the house and property of a Logan resident.
It stresses a different part of the anatomy. We're not on the saddle, so that helps a lot.
Homeowner Ash Mortensen says volunteers completed what would have taken all summer in just 48 hours.
It's amazing being able to watch what a really big team of people can do in just 2 days.
Volunteers cleared out overgrown areas, built a shed, a pergola, painted a staircase, and put in a privacy fence. Cyclists say doing service on a rest day helps them reset for the next 100-mile day of riding.
For me, it's all about community and just coming together and making a difference in somebody's life.
Reporting for KBNU, I'm Cimarron Neugebauer.
The Fuller Center for Housing of Cache Valley serves low-income homeowners by assisting with critical home repairs and accessibility projects for occupant safety and aging in place. Utah's hockey team name and jersey for the inaugural season were revealed Thursday. The announcement was made on June 13th, which was yesterday, after the NHL and Smith Entertainment Group came to an agreement establishing the Utah franchise. The team will be known as Utah Hockey Club until Phase 2 of the multi-phase voting process for the official name is finalized on June 20th. The 2024-25 team jerseys feature a black, white, and blue color palette. Officials said the color scheme was designed to intentionally mirror that of the Utah Jazz, also owned by Smith Entertainment Group. Each color included in the team jersey has a different representation. Rock, black, the darkness of night in Utah's mountains and the volcanic rock of our state's deserts, while salt, white, mirrors the snow on the mountain peaks and the famous salt flats, and the mountain blue stands for the state's and history in winter sports, and it's nearly year-round clear skies. Ryan Smith, governor of Utah Hockey Club and chairman of Smith Entertainment Group, said the NHL has been incredible to work with throughout this process, providing invaluable guidance and support. KBNU Weather is brought to you by the Advocates. If you or a loved one has been in an accident that was not your fault because of a distracted or impaired driver, call the injury attorneys at the Advocates, 801-355-5550. And mostly clear tonight is the forecast, low in the low 60s. And then tomorrow, sunny, cooler, high around 84. Sunny, cooler still on Sunday, high around 78. Get more news at CacheValleyDaily.com.
Make laundry a snap with the large load washers and dryers at Mount Logan Laundry. Rather than 8 to 10 loads at home, get the job done in 1 or 2 with their 55 or 80-pound washers and 80-pound dryers that are perfect for sleeping bags, comforters, and other big items. Mount Logan Laundry has free Wi-Fi and drop-off service, plus they're open until midnight. Mount Logan Laundry really is the cleanest spot in town. Find them at 5th East and 9th North in Logan or in Brigham City on the corner of 1st East and 7th South.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. Serious talk and a like moment at the private meeting between President Biden and Pope Francis in Italy as the G7 summit was winding up. The White House says both agreed ceasefires in Ukraine and Gaza are needed. The White House releasing a video of part of the meeting.
This is what the rotunda
showing Mr. Biden giving the Pope a gift of a painting of George Washington depicted with angels in heaven, which exists under the dome of the U.S. Capitol Rotunda. The president saying,
"It's not the Vatican, but..."
House Speaker Mike Johnson in a statement saying he's disappointed the Justice Department won't prosecute the Attorney General for a contempt of Congress charge for refusing to turn over a recording of President Biden's interview with a special counsel. Justice says, like with President Trump, executive privilege was claimed. The worst of the storms that put lots of South Florida underwater this week are over, forecasters say. This is ABC News.
This is Dr. Red, chiropractic physician with Red River Health and Wellness. Are you suffering with fatigue, brain fog, headaches, intestinal issues, weight gain, and you haven't been able to find any answers?
Before I started at Red River, I was having a lot of stomach pain. I was overweight, severe anxiety, some depression. I had been to multiple doctors. I'd been to specialists. We had done tests, and no one could find anything that was wrong.
Red River Health and Wellness can help you.
I'm on anxiety medicine. I've lowered my dose, and I'm working with my doctor to continue to lower it. I'm sleeping through the night. I have energy for my kids. I've lost 30 pounds. I just feel really good.
Our goal is to teach you and educate you so you know how to manage your condition a lot more effectively, and you know what to do and what not to do for the rest of your life.
Schedule your appointment today at 855-55-RIVER. Red River Health and Wellness with offices in Logan, South Jordan, Springville, and St. George.
Call Red River today.
When I first ran as a candidate, I made the simple promise to restore your conservative voice in the Utah State Legislature. I voted to reduce your taxes by over $1 billion. I sponsored legislation to protect your private property, and I voted in opposition to the state partnership with MLB and NHL owners. I also voted to protect girls from biological males in athletic events and in locker rooms. I am proud to be endorsed by State Senator Chris Wilson. This is Representative Mike Peterson, and I sponsored this message.
Join us each week for Music and the Spoken Word, featuring the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square, the longest-running continuous weekly network broadcast in the world. Each episode features modern and traditional arrangements of spiritual, classical, and contemporary music and a timely, inspiring message. Truly an uplifting program that will have you returning to each week. Music and the Spoken Word with the Tabernacle Choir.
Sunday mornings at 8 and again in the afternoons at 6 on News Talk KVNU.
I don't know which way to go. Let me say it if you are on.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People movie show. Song requested by Andy Morgan. Wanted to hear a little Paula Abdul this afternoon.
Have you seen Paula Abdul dance at her age? She's got it, man.
Does she still do it?
She's still got it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I think I want to say I saw like there was like some kind of tour happening with her and like New Kids on the Block. Is Bobby Brown still alive? I think throw him in there.
I think he died.
So, oh well, never mind.
A Bobby Brown died.
Hopefully it wasn't Millie Bobby Brown. Some kids driving in their car right now. They're like, "What?
Who?"
Yeah, that's 11 from Stranger Things. That's what, like I was like when they're.
She's funny, by the way.
She is pretty funny
in interviews. She's really,
she's engaged to John Bon Jovi's son.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
If you want all the celebrity gossip, just tap me up. I got it all for you.
Who had kids with John Bon Jovi?
I mean, his wife, I think.
Is she a celebrity too, or is
no? She's just a normal lady.
Really?
They've been married forever. See, Jason,
somebody
celebrities,
for everybody,
they're just like us. That used to be my favorite thing in Us magazine. Celebrities, they're just like us.
Yeah,
they get groceries too.
Yeah, and then
they just don't have to worry about how much it costs.
They don't have to even calculate the price.
Look, they wear shoes.
They just throw stuff in there.
Look, they go get coffee in the morning.
Speaking of shoes, before we get to your next review, because this is movie related, I read this article and I will send it to you, and because you should read it before we really get into it as a segment.
Will you print it out?
Will you
print it out and mail it to me?
Mail it to you? Yeah, I can do that.
Nobody sends me mail.
I will actually print it and mail it to your home address. And so, but the short and sweet of this, again, I want you to read it before we really dig into it. But I'm going to throw it out so you can just quick, rapid response right now because it made me laugh. This person's saying that the problem with the slightly depressed box offices is that movie studios are no longer mass marketing with merchandise. And he goes back and he talks about that horrible Godzilla movie in the 90s and yet how much money it still made because of all of the merchandising deals. And remember, Taco Bell had a Godzilla drink holder you could get if you bought 111 burritos or something like that. It was... and he said that's what's wrong is that they're not fully exploiting every angle of marketing these movies.
Anxiety just came into my...
I read the whole thing and the weirdest thing about this is Zero evidence. I mean, this was all vibes and feels.
That's all it's
but
been.
Do people really want that? Do they
Nobody
want
cares. Nobody
a bunch of crap?
No. Maybe if you go to McDonald's and you get a Happy Meal and you're like, ooh, look, you got Joy from Pixar.
But, on the flip side, though, I still have my Burger King Return of the Jedi drinking glasses.
Yeah, but that was like, that's
in a protective box.
That was a different time.
Okay.
I don't think you're ever going to see that again. And if you do, maybe every once in a while. But like when The Force Awakens came out, I don't remember any drink glasses at Burger King.
No.
Stuff like that.
I think
get your Force Awakens triple cheeseburger.
When The Phantom Menace came out, I do remember collecting something.
I think that was probably more of an 80s and 90s thing that started being phased out in the 2000s.
But I was disappointed every time.
We could have a whole show.
I bought a lot of kids' meals when the Phantom Menace came out.
Should you have PG-13 toys and a Happy Meal? I mean, there's a lot of stuff like that. But
so you don't think there's a hunger out there for that to return?
No, that's just here's the thing. Nobody wants to admit what the real situation. I would say two things. One is there are probably things that are valid that multiple things that people have said, but here's where it really lands. It's not movies are woke. That's not a thing. It's not stuff like that. What it is
didn't turn up in the box office really.
People today, and I by the way, I've done like talking about no evidence. I've had this conversation with a lot of different people from a lot of different subsections or cross sections of the political spectrum, age, whatever you want to call it. And the overwhelming response I get is that I have so many options at my fingertips that I'm really not going to go to the movies unless it's something that just like really, really grabs my attention and I really want to go.
Yeah.
And
we talked about this last week, and I said that that was in that conversation. I discovered that's what's changed with me. I'm not.
You're just not going.
I think two
Friday.
things. I think the theater chains are missing a huge opportunity to do more, but I don't think that's holding movies back. I do think they're missing that opportunity.
No, it's not.
But I don't think they're not the cause of this.
It's not.
I think it's what happened to me is that I now it's more of an automatic or a cemented in knowledge. That I think one of the reasons that you saw lines go around blocks back in the 80s and 90s for movies is that who knows when that movie leaves theaters if you'll ever get a chance to see it again.
Mm-hmm. And it wasn't, hey, 3 months later, look, it's on streaming and Blu-ray. Today, back then, remember, Jason, I remember this to a T. I remember being in elementary school and going to see Raiders of the Lost Ark in the drive-in theater.
Oh.
And then I remember we went, it was over. It was done. Once it left, it was gone. And when we waited 2 years for it to come out on VHS, and it was like a whole event when it came out on VHS.
Then, the wait list for that was months long because they only had 2 copies.
And I remember
at your local rental shop.
I know. I remember it was an event. Like my friends came over and slept over. Like my parents were even excited. They got pizza. Like we did this whole thing, and then I remember feeling super sad because I fell asleep. I fell asleep during the movie, and I was like, "Oh, does that mean I don't like Indiana Jones?" My point is like it's just you can't compare it to something else. We can't even compare it to 2019 or 2018 when and we're not talking about $50 billion here. We're talking about a difference of like a few $1 billion, and I think what. The other thing, too, is I go back to this is, I've heard debate about, they need to release less movies and leave them in theater longer. Well, I don't know. Maybe. Go back to...
I do
you
kind
can
of
say
agree
whatever
with
you
that.
want about the 90s and 80s, though. They were only releasing 250 movies a year, and the box office wasn't even close to what it was today. Granted, yes, I realize that but prices have doubled.
I want to point something out. I believe that The Rise of Skywalker was in theaters in Logan as long as Return of the Jedi was.
Yeah, I mean...
It was a couple months. 2.5 maybe almost. And
E.T. was in theaters for a year. Star Wars was in theaters for a year.
I did see that despite the fact that it's doing really well, Furiosa, the latest Mad Max movie, It's
they
already
pulled it.
yeah. They already pulled it from like 800 theaters.
But like, here's an example.
And
If
that seems dumb.
That movie, If that had a poor opening, has began to get traction. Yeah, why?
Because they left.
Because school is out. It's the summertime. Now parents have time. Like,
so why pull Furiosa? I mean, the kids can't go to that. It's rated R. But
I think
is there like pressing need for limited theater space?
I don't think Furiosa should have been a May release. I think that was a poor.
Is that what it is?
I think Furiosa probably should have been either a fall or a midsummer, like late July, early August release.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
No, that would make sense.
I can't even pontificate on it because I don't know why. If you'd asked me last week, would Bad Boys Ride or Die, nail it at the box office, I would have said, I don't know, maybe.
I would have predicted that this is the one because every franchise has that one too far.
Yeah,
and
like this would be the one,
like RoboCop 3,
or just RoboCop 2,
or RoboCop 2. Anything after RoboCop, the remake of RoboCop, that was one too many. But yeah, that's what I thought. I thought, okay, this is it. This will be the one where they decide, all right, that franchise is maxed out. And we can do no more with this, and people don't care. But that's not what the box office is saying.
No.
The box office is saying you should already start pre-production on the next one.
Well, yeah, and again,
unless Will Smith is in jail for
I just think
slapping people.
People have so well. Actually, that's a great segue, Jason. Two things. We don't have to dive into like the story of Bad Boys Ride or Die.
Oh, really?
But what I picking up on your sarcasm.
Not a note-taking kind of movie, is that what you're saying?
No,
we're not talking.
But I think it's the same duo that did the Batgirl movie, and I'll be honest with you, I think if the Batgirl movie was anything like had the style that this did, Warner Brothers really just dropped the ball.
Do you think we'll ever see that?
I don't.
Somebody's got to leak that.
Warner
right?
Brothers is honestly probably one of the worst studios right now. An example of that, again. I think that's the studio behind Furiosa, but they're also a studio behind Kevin Costner's. This is a huge tangent, by the way. Two part, yeah. Horizon, the whatever Western, the saga, whatever it is.
They should should have a big poster that just says Vanity Project.
Well, but here's the problem. So that's a Warner Brothers thing. They're not screening it for critics. And they're not even, well, they are screening it for critics, but they're not screening it for Utah critics in the state where the movie was filmed.
Yeah.
Like just such a short-sighted, dumb thing by the studio.
I also think it's kind of I think they're wasting, not milking it out because they're releasing it in June and August. Part 1 and Part 2. Why not wait a year? Build some buzz.
Yeah.
Or maybe they had some focus groups, and they're like, "Well, let's burn this one right now this summer." And
I don't know. But really quick though, for Bad Boys, before we go to the break, I liked it just as much as I liked Bad Boys for Life. Both of those to me are better than number 2.
Really,
number 1's obviously still the classic, but Martin
number
Lawrence,
2 was when I checked out.
I still like it. I think it's a little. It feels meaner. For some reason, it feels less lighthearted. But I like Martin Lawrence and Will Smith just have great chemistry. And Jason, Will Smith said he was on Hot Ones this past week. He noted same thing about box office. They asked him that. They said, "Why do you think And he said, "I just think people have tons of options, and they're going to be more picky about what they want to go see."
Yeah,
and
maybe that's what needs to happen. Is everybody in the film world needs to stop freaking out about it and realize this is just settling into a new normal.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said last week, maybe 2018-19 where it was an unsustainable.
8 or 9 million was like pretty much the go-to.
Yeah.
And I don't care what people say about ticket prices; they have not gone up that much.
No.
So if someone's saying it costs an arm and a leg to go to the theater, that's not true. Everything is costing an arm and a leg?
It does in some places. Like a friend of mine sent me a receipt. He heard our conversation last week, and he sent me a receipt from the East Coast, and for he and his date,
did he send it to
go
mail
to a movie? This was before concessions. It was $43.
Really?
But that was in a suburb north of Washington D.C. So. But he
should move.
I said, is that up a lot from like the last couple of years? And he said, no, it's been this way for many years.
So Movie Pass probably works out well for him.
Yeah. See, that's what Movie Pass is for. Oh, by the way, have you seen that yet? There's a Movie Pass documentary. Oh,
And Movie Pass actually was emailing
that poor guy
and promoting it. And I was like, that's some jumping the shark stuff, Movie Pass.
Sure, you want to promote that. Oh, the poor founder. I feel so bad for him. I wanted to donate money. We'll be back right after this.
News Talk 610 AM, 102.1 FM, KVNU.
Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat and the Allergy Clinic now have an office located inside the Miller Medical Building in Tremonton. Every Friday, Northern Utah's premier ear, nose, and throat medical physicians and staff will provide Box Elder County a better option to be seen. Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat and the Allergy Clinic are now located in Tremonton. Save time, schedule your appointment today. Go to CacheValleyENT.com. That's CacheValleyENT.com for details. Most insurance products, including SelectMed, are accepted.
Water getting inside your home? Driveway cracking? Your deck need cleaning or sealing? Hey, Gary Sullivan here from At Home with Gary Sullivan. I can help you with those home improvement projects each weekend right here. In fact, we'll take your calls about your home issues and give you solutions. We'll tell you how to fix it, what to use, and where to get it. We'll also have expert guests to help you with your projects. Hope you can join us this weekend right here on At Home with Gary Sullivan.
Saturday nights at 7 on News Talk KVNU, 102 FM and 610 AM.
Today's hearing aid technology can improve not only your life, but the lives of the people who care about you. Once again, you'll be able to hear the reason for their laughter and understand conversations. Dr. Paul Danes will customize a hearing improvement program to meet your unique requirements, whatever they are. Call Dr. Danes for an appointment at 753-HERE and let him show you how.
Bring back what you've been missing. Bring back Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology.
The advocates care about your cycling accident and have attorneys who are fellow riders. They understand the risks you face when you ride, and they want to see you get back on your bike and out on the road. If you were hit while enjoying a leisurely ride or training for the next big cycling race, the Advocates Injury Attorneys can help. We are available 24/7 and we don't get paid unless we win your case. Chat anytime at utahadvocates.com or call 801-355-5550 today. Cyclists deserve an advocate.
He's Caucasian?
Caucasian?
Yeah, you know, a white guy. With a mustache, about 6'3".
An awfully big mustache.
In this dirty old part of the city where the sun refused to shine, people tell me there ain't no use in trying.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People movie show with Andy Morgan here in the studio. Started the show off with an A from Andy for Inside Out 2, new in theaters today. And now we're talking Bad Boys Ride or Die. This actually opened last weekend, but schedule-wise, a bunch of other stuff, we weren't able to include it in last week's show, so we're getting to it now. And that's Inside Out 2 is the only new movie this weekend, right? Here in Logan? Or am I missing one?
I think that's pretty much it. Let me double check. You'd think we'd be more prepared, but we like to fly by the seat of our pants.
I looked at one
here at the KVNU.
I looked at the Megaplex site.
I think it's pretty much Well, and
I'm double checking.
We should also talk about something else. In the last few minutes here is that.
I'm sorry. And what was your grade for Bad Boys Ride or Die?
I gave it the same grade I give that one a B+.
B+, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to enjoy it. And like I said, the other thing, too, is Will Smith, I think you're going to see him kind of gradually start to make his way back. Honestly, I don't condone violence, but if anyone ever needed to be slapped on public television, it was Chris Rock.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I'm not a fan.
I always thought it was me, and then I found out there's this whole portion of the world that, like me, finds Chris Rock insufferable.
Yeah, he's not. I'm not
really irritating person.
Not a huge Chris Rock fan. I mean,
although I'd rather watch him than Adam Sandler. If I had to choose, but that's another one that's insufferable for me.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that one. I don't know. Are you getting excited for Deadpool and Wolverine, Jason?
Yeah, I saw the second trailer, or was it the third? Anyway, I saw the latest trailer, and it looks even funnier. But I also like how they're kind of now. So Deadpool's been this separate from the Marvel universe, separate from X-Men, but tied there, references and things like that for 2 movies, and now this is the full-on embrace of bringing Deadpool into the X-Men world. And
it sounds like it's going to be a reset, too.
Yeah. The trailer even looks like they're setting up the 4th movie.
Have you seen the newest trailer where he says, there's a line, he goes, there's this giant Ant-Man head that's in part of the, and it raises up and there's like a skeleton inside, and Deadpool goes, oh, look, Paul Rudd finally aged. Made me laugh. I enjoyed that.
I love the fourth wall stuff in Deadpool. That's one of my...
Jason, next week...
And his roommate. Love his roommate.
Oh, yeah. I can't... What is her name?
I can't remember.
She's funny.
Blind lady.
She's also in...
Not in real life.
She's also in Fallout on Amazon. She plays one of the people in that.
What do you think about that? I'm about to start that, and there's a lot of haters.
I haven't really ever played the game, so I have nothing to reference it on, but I've enjoyed it so far.
I thought the first 10 minutes was amazing. The guy at the birthday party.
Yeah.
Cowboy... clown, whatever, birthday party, and
he's always good.
And then the way
Walter Goggins.
Yeah, I just thought the way they did that was really cool, and then I couldn't watch anymore.
I will say it'll be interesting to see what the box office does next week, because really the only big release next week that I'm aware of is Bike Riders. That's
which is kind of a sleeper.
Yeah, I think that's a poorly placed movie because it was set up earlier last year as an awards movie.
Yeah.
And then it was moved. And so
this seems like post-Christmas, pre-Oscars.
Yeah. July is going to heat up, though. We'll have a lot to talk when we get to July because there's a lot of movies coming.
Yeah. Twisters, Quiet Place
Deadpool,
Day One, Kevin Costner's Vanity Project.
A Quiet Place. That's actually end of June as we head into 4th of July. So.
Oh, that's right. Part 1, end of June. Despicable Me 4.
Yeah. Big one.
Yeah, there's plenty. And a reminder, the Megaplex theaters are bringing all the Harry Potter movies back this summer at various times. So if you want to see those in theaters,
Harry Potter,
you can do it. And
you're a wizard.
And also a horror movie coming late June, which is weird for a horror movie. A lot to talk about next week on the For the People movie show. Stick around. Dave Ramsey is next here on KVNU Logan.